All right, so we have we were able to retrieve students by ID and all of them. Let's make it a little more interesting. How about being able to create brand new students? So it looks like we had already implemented this create student. It's this create student over here, which pushes this, and presumably it just returns whatever students is. So let's try that out. And it looks like it returns that. So we don't need to post. We're going to have to post a student to this API student. So let's go and do that in Postman. And so let's, there we go. That's the API. And the student will have a username. And the username is maybe Bob. So let's send it. Let's see. And it came back as 3. So I guess it returns the length of the array, maybe. Let's see if I do Charlie. Becomes 4. I guess it returns the length. So ideally, what we'd like to be able to do, instead of just doing that, the returning this, what we'd like to be able to do is maybe what we could do is put this in an actual function. We do the push, and then we actually return the students. So we'll return the students after having pushed that student that we gave you. So let's restart. Let's try it again. Send. There we go. So we have now Alice and Charlie. And we pass in Bob. We send. Now we have Alice, Ada, Charlie, and Bob. Excellent. So it looks like it's working. We might want to implement here adding an ID to this. So this might be a student dot underscore ID is equal to, let's say, new date dot get date. Let's try that. So send 5. Why 5? Huh?
It's fifth today, so it's just giving you the date.
Oh, okay. Date as in day. Yeah. All right. I didn't mean to say that. Get. Is it time? Is that the milliseconds since the beginning of time? According to computer science. There we go. All right. So that's working. So we can post. How about delete? So delete might look something like very similar to what we would do in Java. We would say app.delete, and here would be API student ID. Student ID would be mapped to delete student, and student would take as argument request response. And then it would return whatever the student DAO delete student would return. And we would pass the params dot student ID. Notice that I used here a different syntax from here. See that? In JavaScript, the dot notation and the square notation are interchangeable, right? Which is pretty cool. So this assumes that this is a key inside of this map, and you can use it either notation. The cool thing about this notation is that this string is actually you can compute that string, right, on the fly. So you could create dynamic objects that have dynamic elements, right? So you can build objects dynamic, which is pretty cool. This notation doesn't allow you to do that. All right, so that's delete. Delete doesn't exist. Let's build it. So here the delete might look something like delete student. So this would be the student ID. So this will be like a filter, right? So this will be, well, a filter would only return the objects that don't have that particular ID. Instead, I want to actually remove the element from the original array. So we could first identify what index it is. So we could say maybe index of. Yeah. Index of. And can you pass in the argument of what is it you're looking for, though? Okay. Okay, so this would be what? Students dot index of, like that. And it would be student, like that. Student, and then where students is ID is equal to student ID. And now that we have the index, we could splice it out. We could say students dot splice at index 1 and return students. Turn students. All right, let's try that out. Let's see if this blows up. Okay, so we have, if this is a get, it would return all Alice and Ada. But if this were a delete, and we want to remove Alice here, so this is delete student Alice. Let's send. Didn't like that. Then it's not a function. Okay, so I don't believe we exposed that API with the students, with the delete student. So we forgot to put it here, right? Let's try it again. Send. That worked. Excellent. Let's try now put. Let's put in there. So let's say so that would look something like what? It would look very much like the delete. It would be a put. The API would be the same, right? API student with a student ID, and this would be a update student, right? And update student would be something like update student request response. We would have to fetch first the ID. We have we know the ID here, so it would be oops. Okay, this would be response sent back the JSON of whatever student DAO update student would do, and we would pass in the ID of the student, and we would pass also the parsed object of the student that comes in from the HTTP body. So it would be request.body. It would pass in, right? So let's look at that. What would that look like? So let's go in here and let's implement update. So update would look like what? Update student. So student ID. So what we could do is something simple would be just to find where it is and then just replace it. Right? So let's do the same thing that we did here in the delete. First, we're going to find it. I know where it is now. And now that I know where it is, I can just say students sub-index is just equal to, oh, that's the second argument, right? So not only the student ID, also the new student. I can just replace it and say student sub-index is equal to new student. And just return the students. Okay, let's try it out. Ooh, thank you. Yes, very good. Let's expose that. Let's try it out. And so it would look very much like that. I'm going to change, I think 1, 2, 3 is Alice. Right? So I'm going to change Alice. So this would be a put. And in the headers, let's see, what do we have? Wait, what? Oh. It's, okay, body content, that's right. The body, I'm going to change it from Alice, I'll change it to Alicia. So let's send that, and it didn't work. Wait, what? 1, 2, 3. Well, let's step through it. Let's see if we're even reaching that. Let's click on, let's put a breakpoint. Stop. Why? What's going on? Set breakpoint. All? What? Let's run that. Let's send. Okay, so we're in here. Student ID is 123, that's correct. The new student, username Alicia, that's correct. Students hasn't changed. Let's see if it finds it. So index is -1. Oh, why doesn't it find it? So, what? String. Oh, we didn't parse integer. Thank you. Let's do that. Let's student. So that's student ID. Let's do a parse int. Because notice that we're using triple equal, right? That means that it's checking to see whether the types is also the same, right? So let's do that. Let's restart. Let's send. Let's index. Oh, no, it's still -1. Student ID. Student ID is 123. Students. It's an array. ID 123. I'm sorry? Find index, is it? Maybe. Let's try. Find index. Oh, there it is. Excellent, thank you. Let's try it out. So the other one, we just got lucky. Send, let's see. Index 0. Okay, now it looks better. Continue, and there's Alicia. Excellent, thank you. All right, so yeah, so we did all the CRUD operations, right, on a particular element, right, using the interface implemented as an API. Excellent.